My immediate reaction is also that, like, I don't know, I feel like people are often like suspicious and think the government is corrupt because they, like, a lot of times we don't understand how it works because it's so complicated. And then this movie, like, halfway through, it made me realize, I was like, oh, it's like, but this is also like one of the core issues like that they're talking about in this movie is that like people don't understand, but we're not like, the government isn't giving us all the information to understand like how the system works.
I think like mainly my issue is that a lot of times when you see politically motivated documentaries like this, there's a bias that is like very inherent in the language, and it's something that I'm always trying to combat when I'm like listening to things. And I like to hear that both perspectives are being honored in telling this tale, especially when it's a very legitimate issue like this. Like there was I think a legitimate wrong that took place, and there were very serious issues that would be harmful to society, like SOPA, like, oh my gosh, I remember that. That was a huge deal. And the fact that a movement, a grassroots movement, was able to have that much of an impact, that's incredible.
Aaron's intent isn't quite clear. We don't really know what he was going to do with those documents. I mean, it's kind of clear from the kind of person that he was what he was going to do. Either share it for free information, or, I don't know, maybe do some research and reveal something about the corrupt system of corporations, but we don't really know. And that question, I don't know, that kind of makes me, it makes me think about the other side of it, the kind of the balance between regulation and free information, and how wild the internet is. It is a very wild place, and it is a scary place sometimes.
Stealing is stealing, whether you use a computer command or a crowbar, and whether you take documents, data, or dollars. It is equally harmful to the victim, whether you sell what you have stolen or give it away.
Well, I think they definitely do have like an intellectual property case, because you can patent ideas and stuff like that. But he didn't share it. They didn't know what he was going to do with that information, so a lot of the speculation behind his case is like just wrong. Like you don't have anything against him really. Like maybe he was going to do something illegal with it, but he hadn't done anything illegal with it, and they didn't have any real concrete evidence he planned to do anything illegal with it. So
I'm not going to say that what Aaron did wasn't stealing at all. I think it's probably on a different level than if you like steal an object from somebody, something physical, because in the act of taking that, you are taking it away from that other person. Whereas if online, if you're just stealing all these files from JSTOR, the people who paid still have access to it, so it's more sharing rather than stealing.
This idea of a new kind of copyright, a kind of 21st century, because like the internet has created this very unique world where we want to express content, but it might not be our content, but we want to share it anyways, and we want to create something more with it and combine it and do weird stuff. So, I mean, it's so difficult to navigate those waters, and Creative Commons is one way of doing it, but again, like it said in the movie, like the artists don't usually get paid for allowing people to share their work. They just get the credit. So how do you I don't know, it's like difficult to balance that stuff. But.
well, I really like Creative Commons because although the artists may not get paid as much, they have the option, like, just what they set is their Creative Commons. They don't even have to do it. Like, they can go with a traditional copyright if they that's how they want to make their money.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it really gives a lot of freedom to the artist to decide how they want their work to be used. And like they have another thing called copyleft, which is more like program based. So like a person will copyright something to give other people all of the rights to use it and modify it without anyone else being able to make money from it. And like that's just like an amazing way to use the system against people who want to just make money from it. And so I really like that idea and other ideas like that.
You see, he did a very brave thing with SOPA because he was under indictment at the time, and so he was actually saying, you're not going to be effective in making me stop. And that was really throwing it in their faces.
And it's great that he's had such a lasting impact. It's sad that he wasn't here to do more.
Yeah, SOPA, that whole part about SOPA and how he amassed all of these people to make a difference. That really got to me because I'm a very jaded person. I'm like, oh, you can't change the world. But like he did.